right? We do see the attack. The chances aren't good, but we have to go for it. Big money, big money, big money. Okay, we're talking about that Wicked Wolf. Here it is. In play. It's actually going to fight the Griffin. Or should we fight the Swindler? Let's fight the Swindler. Just because it's a form of life gain for them, which will trigger the Ares. Right? Paid 3 life. Gaining more life with Daxos here. They're at 50 life. Hey, welcome back. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to watch Hello Good Game. I'm Greg, and we are playing Simic Food today, revolving around Wicked Wolf. You know, a big shout out to MTG Jeff. Go check his channel out. He's been talking about Wicked Wolf on the Friday night podcast. Go check that out as well on Dr. Spillikin's channel. But he was sharing his love for the Wicked Wolf, and I had forgotten all about this card. It was a very relevant card at the time when it came out. We had food all over the place. People were ramping with Nissa, playing Wicked Wolf as that fight into the Hydra Crisis for the draw and life gain. You know, and then it kind of faded off. Sacrifice took over food, and we didn't see a lot from the Wicked Wolf. However, I wanted to revisit it after Jeff brought it up, and you know, this card is still a boss, and you know, I think people have been kind of sleeping on it since its release. It's in Throne of Eldraine, so it's staying. Today is a rotation-proof standard 2021 deck for you guys, so there's nothing here that's leaving when rotation hits. You're totally safe if you want to go ahead and make this deck with your wildcards. Do keep in mind, this is a little bit more jank than the stuff I typically cover, right? Normally we're doing these top tier 1 decks. This is an organic deck made by myself. I still, if you do look at the deck rank Viability rating down below in the description, you'll see that I still find this deck to be able to compete, you know, obviously within bronze, silver, and in gold, and a little bit in platinum. Maybe not a diamond or mythic deck though, of course. As always, if you find any value within this video, I encourage you to go ahead and give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and go ahead and join to support me if you so choose. Most importantly, check out the channel, right? We've got our popular uploads, free-to-play guides, beginner guides if you want to learn how to build some decks just like I do. Standard decks, right? The best decks in standard, some of the best decks in historic. We've got brawl decks, tools and tips, and some limited content as well. So check out the channel. I'd really appreciate that. Simic Food starts out with 4 copies of Gilded Goose. This is a 0/2 with flying. When it enters the battlefield, create a food token. We can also pay 2 plus tapping it to create another food token. Obviously, later on, we can't do this as it has Summoning Sickness because you can't tap at creatures with Summoning Sickness. 2 copies of Witch's Oven. Now, I know what you're thinking. What? Witch's Oven without the cat? How are you making this work? You're going to see. This is a lot of fun. It's an artifact. We can tap it to sacrifice a creature, create a food token. If the sacrificed creature's toughness was 4 or greater, create a food token instead. I'm always getting toughness and power mixed up. Power's not a thing, it's toughness and strength. Anywho, into our 2-drops, Elysian Caryatid. This is a 1/1 in which we can tap to add 1 mana of any color. If we control a creature with power 4 or greater, we will actually be able to add 2 mana of the chosen color, which is quite nice. 2 copies of Trail of Crumbs and enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, create a food token. Whenever you sacrifice a food, you may pay 1. If you do, look at the top 2 cards of your library. You may reveal a permanent card from among them, put it into your hand, and the rest in the bottom of your library in any order. 3 copies of Kinnan, Bond or Prodigy. This is a 2/2, and whenever we tap a non-land permanent for mana, add 1 mana of any type that permanent produced. And we can pay 7 to look at the top 5 cards of our library. You may put a non-human creature card from among them onto the battlefield, the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Into our 3-drops, you know we have to have 4 copies of Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath. This goes in every Simic deck, just it's an auto add. 6/6, when it enters the battlefield, it is sacrificed unless it's escaped. It escapes for 2 green and 2 blue mana symbols. Exile 5 other cards from your graveyard as well. So you'll need 6 cards in your graveyard because Uro's in there, so you'll have to exile those 5, keep Uro, replay them. And yeah, then it will re-enter the battlefield and you'll gain another 3 life, put another card into the battlefield, and draw, right? So that's quite cool. 4 copies of Garruk's Harbinger. This is a 4/3 hexproof from black, so that can be quite helpful in certain matchups. Whenever Garruk's Harbinger deals damage to player or planeswalker, you're going to look at that many cards from the top of your library. You may reveal a creature card or Garruk Planeswalker from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So, you know, in a deck primarily filled with creatures, we're going to be rolling. And not to mention, once we do get into our 4-drops here, we do have a Garruk the Planeswalker, or Garruk the Unleashed. This is a 4 loyalty Planeswalker, +1 ability, put up to, one creature gets up to +3/+3 and gains trample until end of turn. I should start reading these just instead of going from memory. -2, create a 3/3 green beast creature token. Then if an opponent controls more creatures, then you put a loyalty counter on Garruk the Unleashed. -7, you get an emblem with at the beginning of your end step. You may search your library for a creature card, put it into the battlefield, and then shuffle your library. So that -7 ability is like pretty disgusting, and that will automatically win you the game. So you can just start pulling out Gargaroths at will, which is psycho, even Wicked Wolves to get the removal. And, you know, just creating a field of 3/3s isn't the worst. It is pretty hefty with the -2. The -1 isn't so bad, but it's still not great because he only comes in with 4 loyalty to start. So ideally, this just gives our big baddies trample. You know, we can plus a few times, and then we can start pulling out that Elder Gargaroth. We have 3 copies of Gemrazer. This is a 4/4 with reach and trample. Mutate for 3. Whenever this creature mutates, destroy target artifact or enchantment an opponent controls. Wicked Wolf ×4, and we talked about this a little bit. 3/3, when it enters the battlefield, it fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. We can sacrifice a food at instant speed to put a +1/+1 counter on Wicked Wolf. It gains indestructible until end of turn, plus we have to tap it, which is kind of the bummer. However, we can declare blockers or our attackers, and then we can tap it after that, right? So that's a pretty nice interaction. We've got 4 copies of Elder Gargaroth, the star of the show. 6/6, Vigilance, Reach, Trample. When it attacks or blocks, choose 1. Create a 3/3 green beast creature token. You gain 3 life. Draw a card. You know, and this, needless to say, triggers very well with our Kinnan. But before we get into our deck's strategies or synergies, let's look at the land. We've got 8 islands, 10 forests, 4 Temple of Mysteries, and 2 Fabled Passages. So very friendly land base. There's no shock lands here, as we are playing in the standard 2021 queue, playing with rotation-proof cards for you guys. And it appears we've missed a card somewhere. For all intents and purposes, let's pretend it was a Gilded Goose. But you could also work in more Trail of Crumbs if you felt so. You can always kind of mod these decks to your likings, right? This is just my base list, what I think is really good, and adjust the specific numbers to suit your needs, right? Like maybe this is too many land. Maybe 24 land is a little bit much for you, considering we have the ramp through the Goose, the Kinnan, and the cartridge. And you know, you could maybe potentially add more draw engine through that with the Trail of Crumbs. However, those are kind of things we're going to talk about at the end of this video. We've got alternative builds, different cards to incorporate if you don't have all of these mythics and rares. So stay tuned for that. Before we get into today's gameplay footage, we're going to talk about the strategies and synergies within the deck. All right, so I alluded earlier to the fact that Elder Gargaroth works well with Kinnan, Bond, or Prodigy. It's expensive, don't get me wrong. Elder Gargaroth costs 5. Is it really worth paying 7 to cast it? Yes, if you can do so at instant speed. If not, maybe not. Think of it as looking at the top 5 cards of your library for 2, right? That's actually not the worst value, so still probably worth it as far as mana conversion goes. However, where we go from probably worth it to absolutely worth it is when we're doing this, when we're about to declare our blockers, so Gargaroth can flash block, have that ability trigger, right? Because normally, you know, it enters and our opponent has a turn to untap and remove it, but hopefully they've tapped, they've attacked, we flash in and immediately are getting the response out of our Elder Gargaroth, whether it's gaining life, drawing a card, creating a 3/3. So when we are playing this instant speed right before blocks, our opponent has very little chance to interact with it, which is going to really make it quite beneficial for us. So, you know, that is the main objective of Kinnan, Bond, or Prodigy, is to flash out Elder Gargaroth for blockers. We can also flash out our Wicked Wolf, right? That's not bad, especially if we have treasures on deck, right? Put a wolf out, we get the removal as well. So that's always nice. So it does suck a little bit. You know, we've got a chance to pull a Goose, a Cartridge, a Harbinger, a Uro, you know, so on and so forth, even a Gemrazer. It's not the worst to play a Gemrazer or a Harbinger. you know, Uro could be worse as well. Paying 7 for an Uro, somehow that's still probably barely worth it, but we want more value. We want like exponential value. We don't want a little bit, we want a ton. And that is, again, incorporated through the smashing of Elder Gargaroth instant speed through the Prodigy. There's another really nice synergy here because we don't have a lot of food creation, right? We do have the Gilded Goose. It can create food. The Trail of Crumbs can create a food, right? So there's not a lot of food generation. So you might say, well, the Wicked Wolf's not beneficial. This is where the Witch's Oven comes in play. Now, I talked about this being really important in the deck earlier. Uro sacrifices itself, instant speed. You can sacrifice it with your oven, so you get 2 food tokens from your Uro that would die anyways, to be used later via ramp in your Gilded Goose, via indestructible and +1 tokens and your Wicked Wolf, or maybe just a little bit of sustainability and survivability through the life gain, right? So this seems like an unlikely friendship or interaction through the oven and Uro, but it has worked out very, very good for us so far. Not to mention that the oven can interrupt a lot of the instant speed interaction. The oven almost gives protection from Lucky Clover, right? Brazen Borrower, Bone Crusher Giants, sacrifice that creature, they're gone, right? Good luck playing that creature later. It's going straight to the graveyard. So Witch's Oven is not only good for creating food for the Wicked Wolf, but it's also good for getting you out of those interactions via instant speed sacrifice, right? So that's nice. I mean, the cartridge can tap for 3 mana with the Bonder out if we have creatures with 4 or greater, which most of the deck is. The Harbinger, the Razor, the Wolf will get there as well, right? So there's a lot of mana generation, and you could potentially even, and we did do this, get up to 14 mana through all of the ramp and the Bonder Prodigy to double flash its ability for multiple Gargaroths and Wolves. So it's pretty disgusting. Again, the Garruk's Harbinger, whenever it deals combat damage, is going to help you draw either a creature or a Garruk Planeswalker, push it to the limit, get those draws. There's not a ton of trample to be handing out on each individual creature. Yes, I wish the Harbinger had trample. There is only the way of mutating onto it to put trample onto it. So typically we don't want to mutate a 4/4 onto a 4/3. It's not gaining anything. However, if there's an enchantment or an artifact to destroy, yes, that's good. And we've also added trample to our Harbinger, which makes it easier to deal combat damage to our opponent, to the Planeswalker, to start drawing cards from our library. So that's kind of a little bit of a benefit there, if you will. You know, the main go-to with the Gemrazer, though, is put it on the Gilded Goose. Now you've got a 4/4 flyer that can smash home, right? So that is beneficial as well. So that's the deck. That was the general strategy and synergy. Play your oven, sack your Uro, smash your opponent's creatures with your food, ramp up, use your Kinnan Bonder Prodigy to flash speed via blocker your Elder Gargaroth to get the abilities, and then you can attack again right after because their turn's going to end immediately. So you're just really getting a ton of value out of Gargaroth via the Prodigy and using all of the ramp and the food along the way for Wicked Wolf. Thanks to Jeff for the idea again. Go check both him and Dr. Spilkin out. If you've not seen our Friday Night Magic podcast, give that a listen to as well. I think we've done 10 or 11 episodes now. So, you know, each Friday we get together and we're just talking about all of the things that's happened in the week for us 3 creators within Magic the Gathering Arena. So check it out. I'm live every morning, 6 a.m. on YouTube. At 7 a.m. we switch to Twitch. And then at 6 p.m. we're back again on YouTube, right? Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. All times are Mountain Standard Central. If you don't want to do the conversions, there's a Linktree link in the description below. It'll take you to my Twitch. It'll take you to my YouTube. Go subscribe, hit the notifications, and then you don't have to do any of that jazz, right? Math is for blockers at best, not you wonderful viewers. Now, I hope you guys go have yourselves a great day. A huge shout out to all of our financial support on Twitch, Patreon, YouTube for allowing me to make this amount of content for you guys. So I know not only myself is extremely grateful, but the community who's been watching this community thanks you as well. So thank you for that. Enjoy today's content. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share to a friend, and we will be back with our closing thoughts in a little bit. Take care. We go first. Don't mind if we do. Let's goose into it. Hopefully we draw our 3rd land so Passage can come out as our 4th. thereby avoiding the tapped status of the land when it enters. Mono white life gain's good. I'm gonna Uro with the goose, right? Because we have Trail to make another food anyways. Forest in play. We can drop Garruk, I guess. Daxos is pretty cool, pretty cool. Oh, more land. That's not what we want, really. Trail of Crumbs. Let's start drawing, right? We should have thinned our library, I suppose. What are you doing? Ooh, it's Orzhov. We've got Veto in our opponent's deck. Interesting. Normally you don't see Daxos in an Orzhov deck. That's kind of like a mono white get. Let's mitigate the single point of damage, I assume. Down to 20, they're at 22. Okay, okay. Let's make the food. We didn't have enough to sack it and draw, so, you know, that is what it is. Let's thin our library with the passage. We should have done that last turn. Main phasing and draw is never fun, but we don't really have much to do. I guess best case scenario, we pull another Uro. Goose could be worse. Gaining 3 life here. Oof. Nice, there goes our enchantments. Let's throw a goose into an oven. That's our turn. We're looking for wicked wolves. These creatures are ripe for destruction. Right? We've got a hungry wolf that's underfed and looking to fix that. You can see those hungry eyes in the background. Actually, that one looks like a boar. It's not a wolf. That thing's got husks. Can you imagine if wolves had husks? Elspeth, Sun's Nemesis, ESN. Right? Not ECD, this one's ESN. ESPN? Not quite. Could make a sport of it though, maybe. With the Shadow Sphere. Gross. No blocks. Just cry. Oh, we could have blocked the bounty, I guess. Oops. Just frustrated. It's annoying, and I hate it. We're falling very far behind.
Courage will bloom in all who seek justice.
I love land. -2 is really only a -1.
My pack's always growing.
We would never get it to -7. Really? I guess we could have fizzled that. We'll save it though. Brody. Garruk's gonzo.
I accept my losses.
Well, it's better than what we have been pulling. I don't know how they've not been able to beat us yet, right? We need to top deck that Gargaroth, baby. That's what it's all about, kids. We've got 4 in graveyard. I say we do some blockers into death and play this Uro, right? Holding the phone. Right, not entirely sure why. Our opponent's sitting at an amazing position. They should be hammering down on us. The thing is, we need 2 of these creatures to die, not just 1. Cancel. Let's create a food. Cook this goose. Create a food here as well. That pushes us to 6 in grave. Oh! Nice 3 life to gain. Hashtag Griffin Airy.
If you are going to fight, fight beside me.
Let's get Uro in play. Drawing anything but a land. You know, Wicked Wolf would be cool.
Hunt elsewhere.
I think this match is kind of getting a little too far gone for us, though. Oh, land. Loving it. Nice. So very sad. A Kinnan is what we need. And then Elder Gargaroth as well. Woo! That's an exile effect. We're gonna make a literal ton of food here. Feed a family of 4. Up to 7. We don't need a ton of ovens. It's not like Cat where you need to cycle it really quick all the time and get as many cycles as you can. Just splash it in there. Makes a ton of food for the wolf. It's pretty easy. And then you can avoid some of the instant speed interaction as well.
Find your valor and fight.
Woof. 6, 8, 9, 10. Let's just eat some food, I guess. Gain 6 life. That means our Uro gained us 9 life, you guys. Let's mitigate 2 of that damage. Down 17, they're at 44. Right, not good. Griffin triggers. Okay. I mean, it's a start, right? Watch us pull Gilded Goose with it and stuff, right? So passing our turn. Pushing that out instant speed. Pass to attackers. Alright, hopefully we get a Gargaroth with reach. We can start taking out these griffins. Look at our food like we're gonna eat some to mitigate the damage again. A Wicked Wolf wouldn't even be too bad, but a Gargaroth would be ideal. Big money, big money, big money. Thank you! This is what it's all about. Alright, let's start creating these 3/3s, I think, right? Plenty of life to make that gamble over and over again. Our turn. We have enough, right? We could just play it out because of all the food. Or do we take out all of these tokens, right? There's 4 and the Outset of Life's Bounty. And then they only have like 3 creatures left. It has Vigilance for a reason. Let's take the draw here. Just because we have mana to cast whatever we pull. That's gotta be a massive block. It's got trample, maybe they just let it hit, right? It's a hard equation to solve, Elder Gargaroth, if you don't have just targeted removal. Yeah, we're getting 6 blockers here. Wow. Talk about a value conversion. Clearing most of their board state. That appeases me. Plenty of life gained with Daxos, but that's fine. We'll take our Scry. Land can go to the bottom. We need more Gargaroths. We know one's on the bottom, right? That's not good. And we're casting for 7, and we have 5 not 14 by any means, so let's play the Goose for another food, and we will end our turn and do the Kinnan instant speed again. All this food, no Wicked Wolf. Such a sad day. Maybe he got so hungry he died. Right? Of starvation. Okay. ESN back in play. I love calling it that.
I can escape my past no more than I can escape my shadow.
Can start making the tokens again, right? We have 1 card in the grave. We need what, 4 more. 2 with Uro, but we want to be replaying Uro, so we can gain a bunch of life with our food. Right, we can do a pretty sweet flash blocker as well. Right, we do see the attack. The chances aren't good, but we have to go for it. Big money, big money, big money. Okay, we're talking about that Wicked Wolf. Here it is. In play. It's actually going to fight the Griffin. Or should we fight the Swindler? Let's fight the Swindler. Just because it's a form of life gain for them, which will trigger the Ares. Right? They paid 3 life. Gaining more life with Daxos here. They're at 50 life. I don't think the life is too important. I'd rather the food creation. Even though we don't gain life, let's just push our wolf up a little bit here. We'll eat 2, why not? Land! 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is 11. 12, 13. We're so close to having enough land to do it twice. Wow. Let's play it safe. 13 life, we can gain a bunch more through our food, and if we don't need to, we can use our Kinnan. So I think we've got this match basically locked out. Going through like 7 cards in our library at a time, so we should get that Elder Gargaroth back up soon. Wow. Let's just sack it so they can't gain life. Right, we should have done that to this first one as well. I don't know why we didn't. You know, a little happy misplays. There's the attack. Let's look for a wolf or Gargaroth. A Harbinger, I guess, is fine. No blocks, sadly. We will eat some food though, right? Just mitigate all that damage. Six, 10, 11, 12, 13. If we draw 1 more land, we're using the Bonder Prodigy's ability twice. I mean, yeah, hopefully we can finish the game out organically. I'd love to pull this around and beat those 52 life back out of them.
If you are going to fight,
So much life gain. Crazy. Nothing good. We don't need 2 ovens. Let's keep it in hand. No attacks. They have chump blockers. A Garruk for trample would be cool as well. It's actually a little bit nerve-wracking, pulling yourself out from such a hole and then just coming into this weird stalemate. Hopefully no instant speed removal for this Gargaroth! Right, we'll block that for sure. We will do some shenanigans. Let's create a 3/3 beast. The more the merrier, right? Down to 13. It is removal. Cry. Nice. We get 2 food from that. And we may as well just gain some life as well. Up to 19. I think we're actually gaining life as they attack. But they're eating through our Gargaroths. That's 2 of them. We'll take that scry. The Harbinger's not bad. At least we'll pull that, right? Worst case scenario, we play Harbinger. May as well get this out there as well. Passing our turn. 33 cards in deck. Our opponent has 41. You know, we're getting closer to being able to play our Uro again as well. Just making it so our opponent can't really do anything. There's so much life gain, and then we can just start pulling creatures instant speed, which if we've learned anything from Collected Company, we've seen how good that is. So there's very few cards that we've not seen in our library yet. Take our wolf, please and thank you. Get the kill. We have enough life that we can start making more food with the goose instead of sacking food to gain life. We may as well buff ourselves up a little bit as well. It helps. It doesn't quite get us to Uro. And that will allow us to activate our Kinnan twice, believe that or not. And I think we're ready to attack. They think so too. Good game. This is actually close to being an ideal draw hand. A 4th land will come regardless, right? See, just organically. We need the... ooh, that is actually kind of good. Let's keep that as well. Any ramp is pretty beneficial for the start of the game. Playing our Uro, sacking it for food. Let's sack that. Right, we get 2 food tokens, and we drew a goose to play. That's awesome. So now our bonder can get to work right away with this goose. We could potentially even do some fighting, which I will. Takes the oven once we've already used it. I do not mind that. No blocks. And now we'll get to see why that was so great. If we play this for 2, the goose taps for 2, right? All we have to do is sacrifice a single food, which we have 3 of now, thanks to that sacrifice of Uro. Yes, please. And we don't even have to give it indestructible with food because Daxos strength is only 2, so it survives organically. And turn. How's that for a little Simic action? It's unique. We've not seen it a ton. And still totally viable. Oh, wow. Exile on Kinnan. Ouchies. That's aggressive. Wicked Wolf dodges Glass Casket at least. He takes the goose too. Oh, this guy. Wow. Take our draw with Uro. Itsy bitsy, a little bit of ramp. So the wolf's tapped, so we could potentially just give it indestructible for fun. Ooh. I like the Archon of Absolution, so we'll have to pay 1 to... Excuse me. That's the feeling it instills within me. Just I start choking and gasping for air. It's like, pay for tags? What? Right? We will sack food to go to 4 so it won't block us, right? Interesting. Don't mind if I do, Hugh. Don't mind if I do. But what we should do... take Kinnan back, right? And now we can play our Garruk. We still have mana to pay for our Wicked Wolf's attack. And we start plussing. We're going to get hit for 3, so we don't want to minus. Let's push up the Wicked Wolf. 7/7. Don't mind if I do, Hugh. And don't mind if I do. Shows us the cost that we have to pay, and we are able to do so. Oof, down to 10. The wolf can just survive a field wipe, right? If there is a shatter, we're okay there. Wow. Okay, Kinnan's gone again. Oh no, that's Banishing Light. That can take anything. And it takes Garruk. Woof. I would have taken that Gemrazer. Because if we pull any mutate, and you know, we only have Gemrazer in the deck, but they don't know that. Woof. Let's almost force the field wipe, right? And we can still actually sack this. Oh no, we don't have anything. Oh, it is this one. This has flying, it just doesn't show it, or what? Oh, that's the Elysian cartridge. Okay. Yeah. This is a good hit, down to 6, right? They need to field wipe, and we have indestructible. That's a hard equation to solve. You need to exile all. Good game. Kinnan into Elder Gargaroth. Bingo bango. Alrighty then. This is an unconventional deck, but at a certain point, have an idea, go with it. It works, it works, it doesn't, move on. You know, that fox is gonna annoy me. We need more land before Gargaroth becomes a thing. Looking for a wolf, you know what I mean? A land, play Earl, sack it, make 2 food. Oof. We don't get it. Still likely make a food though. Once Earl's in play. We can sack it. We're still having a land issue, but you know, we're stacking the food for our Wicked Wolf. That's our main objective. Big hit though. And we don't pull a land. Harbinger in play. Rescuer. I'll trade with the fox given the opportunity. They cycle above it, we can oven it. We get the kill on the Flourishing Fox here. Having him fight. Also indestructible. But we're tapped and our opponent hits us for 7. Right? I mean, we're doing something. That's nice, I guess. We get stuck on lands, but you see how the combo works, right? Make the food, use the food, smash your opponent. This is the hit that hurts, though. So I'd like to play Trail of Crumbs, but at the same time we basically just need the blocker. They can flare us, right? Ideally we're curving into Gargaroth to gain all that life back, but it was just too slow this round. We sack our goose for a treasure. Woo! There's said flare. We don't have enough land to sack the food to eat it, so good game. Let's try to get one in game 2. Woof! Alright, that worked better than we thought. We tried to focus it all around the Wicked Wolf, but eventually we realized that the Wicked Wolf is a supporting archetype. This isn't the main jazz, right? This is not the baseline, so to say. The baseline is the Bonder Prodigy and Elder Gargaroth. And you know, we made the deck, we thought that would be the supporting archetype because it's so expensive. Who gets to 7, right? We should smash our opponent by then. But with all the ramp, with the long games that we weren't able to close out, we got to 7. Multiple matches. We flashed the Gargaroth out, and we seen how much value that can provide. So that was a lot of fun. And nonetheless, sacrificing your Uro for 2 foods to use later for ramp, life gain, the wolf, it's just a lot of synergy, a lot of viability within the current meta. Let's talk about upgrades, right? Because it's one thing to jump on a deck, make it, play it. Once you've spent an hour or 2 within the meta, you can come back and really adjust that deck. However, making 2 videos a day, I don't have time to do that. That's why we do these adjustment guides at the end, so you're playing the best version of this deck that I can send you home with, right? Trail of Crumbs. We've seen how much food we had in a lot of these matches. What we needed was more draw, right? So I think we should be going to 4 Trail of Crumbs. I'm saying clums. Crumbs in the deck. I think that would be great. Just a little bit more draw, and you know, maybe we drop, I don't even know, right? We could drop an Uro potentially, you know, maybe even a Harbinger, right? It's hard to say what to drop. You know, maybe even a Gemrazer potentially, or a Wolf. Feel it out. Determine how much you need this draw engine, because that's the thing. Like, I get it close, but I think there's just little rooms for improvement. And I'm pretty sure it comes in the form of 4 Trail of Crumbs. We still need the 2 ovens. I think we drop a Wicked Wolf, and I think we drop a Harbinger, or we drop some land, but I hate bricking on land. I'd rather flood than brick, especially in a ramp deck, right? So in my opinion, you know, you drop a Wicked Wolf, you drop a Harbinger, you add 2 Trail of Crumbs, and now you're laughing all the way to the bank. Maybe even just a single Harbinger for the Trail of Crumbs, and then you keep 4 Wolves just because it's the only thing that's really acting on the food. So yeah, I think keep 4 Wicked Wolves, drop a Harbinger, put in another Trail of Crumbs, call it good. Maybe if you wanted some additional draw, drop a single land, takes you down to 23. That should still be fine. You're playing best of 1. You should really actually have no problem with that, especially with all the ramp in the deck. So those are my thoughts on how to really get the most out of this deck. As far as our vlog style closeouts, you know, I emailed that company again that sold me this new router. It's like Canadian Rural Internet Solutions or something. I find it odd that there's a company in California selling, you know, internet to Canadians. A little bit weird. And they promised 2-day shipping. That was the whole thing. Like, get your internet now. It's been a week and a half. I emailed them, they won't respond, and now I was like, if you don't respond, I'm canceling. So it's gonna get sent out on Monday, they say. Hopefully. We've got a booster coming for that as well, and then ideally the stream strength improves. I know the YouTube quality is good, but on stream a lot of the times we have major issues, and then I'm uploading 30 minutes away in town. I have to drive because I'm on a metered connection here that won't even do the uploads. So I'm driving about an hour every day or every second day to do the uploads, and that's miling my truck out, and it's spending a lot of time within my day because, you know, 2 hours isn't bad, but when it's like an hour or 2 hours every day or every second day, it adds up. That is a lot of time within a year when we're doing this every single day, right? It's not like a shopping trip I do once a week. It's a repetitive task that I can't not do. And, you know, I would love just to stay home and have my uploads go and not be spending $30 on gas a day. Right? And then I'm in town, so I get food, so it's just not a good habit. But regardless, that's the news I have for you today. Zendikar Rising is coming out soon. I don't know if you guys seen my tweet, but I've been given a special free preview hashtag for Zendikar Rising. I got a card. We're going to be sharing it in a very special, unique way, never before seen. So it's going to be a blast, and I hope we're able to raise a lot of awareness for the channel with our cryptic release that we're going to get into. So that's it. That's all I've got for you guys today. Thanks for watching. Live at 6 on YouTube, then at 7 on Twitch, then back again at 6 p.m. on YouTube again. We start in the morning, we go all day into EMs, the evenings, the EMs. You know I've been here for a while and I can't even speak, right? So again, I appreciate your time and attention. If you want to support the channel, go ahead, hit that like button below, subscribe, and share out to a friend. If you want to go above and beyond that, you can do so financially. Twitch, Patreon, YouTube, links for everything in the link tree, a link below. Check out MTGA Assistant, you guys. This is the greatest free way to support me other than watching the videos and liking them every single day. You get deck stats, you get deck write-ups, you get deck videos, you get events, metagame analysis, literally everything you could ever want included in the game. Just pull it up, it's right there at your disposal. You can see your recent opponents, yada yada yada, everything. And the best thing, every download is 80 cents towards your favorite creator. So if you don't have it yet, check it out. I really recommend it. And if you have any questions, reach out to me in the Discord. And you know, me and my team will be happy to help you get it up and running. To do so, you just install it, you go account, and you click this detailed logs, plugin support if you're unfamiliar, right? That's it. That's all I've got for you. We're back tomorrow with another banging video. Thanks again. Really appreciate it. Go have yourselves a great day, and we'll see you soon.